Okay, this is the video for the 4.1 translations, and we're going to go over some of these problems. So I'll do a few of the problems, and then I'll want you to go back and finish up the others. Make sure that you have notes, some kind of scratch paper, so you can work some of the problems out. It'll help on some of these, and then you can finish those up after we're done looking at some together. Okay, so let's look at, I'm going to let you try number 1 and 2 on your own, but if you're having questions, you can message me and ask me about those. We're also going to have some sessions where we'll meet together, and you can ask me some questions at that time if you need to. Okay, so if we look together at number 3, it says write the component form of the vector. So again, it's going to start at C. It's going to start at C, and then it's going to go towards D, like this. So you can see the arrow, it stops right at that point right there. So the name of it is going to be where you start and then to where it ends, like that. And then the component form, we would put our chevron, and then remember, it's like you're going to drive from C to D. So we go down. Let me restart that. So what I would rather do is do the left and right part first. So we're going to go right and then go down. The reason I want to do that part first is because, remember, your horizontal goes first and then the vertical goes second. So how far right are we going? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So we went 7 right, and then down. So remember, down is a negative direction. Down 1, 2, 3. So we went down 3 on that. So as you look over that, you're going to look for the answer that has a 7, and you're going to type in here 7, -3, and then you're going to choose the proper name of the vector, which is going to be CD. It looks like a ray, but it's going to be that one right there. Okay? Okay, so then I'm going to want you to do number 4 on your own. Okay? And then, again, if you get stuck or you have a question, you can just message me or wait till our Q&A Microsoft Teams sessions, and you can ask me about it then. Okay, so on number 5, they're going to give us a triangle. So they want us to graph the triangle and the translation, the image. So remember, the given triangle here, that is actually our pre-image, and then after we translate it, that's going to be the image. So you have those two things. Okay. So first of all, now I like to write down the points. So using this vector, we're using the vector 5, 1. So D prime would be at D prime. If we follow this means add, x plus 5, and then the y minus 1. So it's plus 5 minus 1. So if I take my D, plus 5 would be 7, minus 1 would be 4. So it's like the 2 plus 5, and then the 5 minus 1. So then my E prime, again, you take your 6 and your 3, and we're going to add 5 and subtract 1. So 6 plus 5 is 11, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So that gives us our E prime. And then our F prime is going to be, again, we have our 4, 0. We're going to add 5 and subtract 1. So 4 plus 5 is 9. And 0 minus 1 is negative 1, like that. So that's going to be our the image, right? So that's the pre-image, and then this is our image right here. So if we graph those points, the first one, the pre-image, is at 2, 5. So we'll have a point there. And you can't write D on there, but that's where D is. And then we go 6, 1, 2, 3. So that is 6, 3. And then that's it. That's where E is. And then 4, 0 is right here. And that is our F. Now, to get it to draw the line for you in Big Ideas, after you plot the F, you go back and you click D, the point D again, that first one, and it will then complete the graph for you. So again, to get it to draw the polygon for you, you plot your 3 points, your D, your E, and your F. Then you go back and you click D again, and that tells the software, I'm ready to complete and draw the triangle. Okay, now I'm going to plot with a different color my image so that you can at least see the difference whenever you're looking at yours. Okay, so again, we're going right 5 and down 1 to get these points. So D prime is at 7, positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna actually move my point E here out of the way a little bit. Let me redo that real quick. So this is E right here like that. Okay, sorry about that. Now, that new point that I just did, that's my D prime at 7, 4. Okay, now E prime is at 11, 1, 2. So there's E prime right there. Then F prime is at 9, negative 1. So that's my F prime. And again, for Big Ideas to complete it, you have to click on the D prime again. That tells Big Ideas to complete the drawing. Okay, so your two graphs should be look like that. Your two triangles should look like that. And then you can check that, and I'm going to give you enough checks so that, if you mess up a couple of times, you can fix it. But please practice doing these so that you're ready for the test, which you'll have to take the test from home next week. So practice these so you can get ready to do that. All right, great job. Let me give you, let's continue our Minecraft theme, and we'll start off with a zombie this time. All right. I hate zombies. I know we don't hate in the 918, but I don't like zombies. Okay, let's keep going. So I want you to try number 6 by yourself. Just try to use number 5 as the pattern that you're supposed to follow when you do that. Okay, so let's look at number 7. On number 7, it says to find the component. In other words, you write this time. You have to write what the component is on this example, okay? Now, remember, we're going from the P to the P prime. So what are we doing, right? So this is our, right? That's how we're writing this. So what are we doing to -3 to change it to 0? Well, that is going to be, so in this case, we have to add 3, right? To change it from -3 over to just a 0, we would have to add 3 to get that. All right, so then as we look at 6 and 1, what do we do to the 6 to change it to a 1 right there? Well, we would be subtracting 5 right here. So my component form then would be 3, -5. So that's what you do for this. It's not too difficult, I don't think, but it's just going to take a little bit of thinking and reasoning to determine what you're doing right there on those. Okay? And then I want you to try number 8 on your own, same kind of thought process. If you need to, just rewind and rewatch that part, how we got there. Okay, so let's look at number 9. So number 9 is also wanting you to write the rule, but this time it's not the vector, it's the coordinate rule. What is the coordinate rule? It's very similar, it's just a different way to write it. So as we look at this, we're going to look at how did it change. But remember you go from the pre-image to the image. So you start at the M, and how did we change it to end up at M prime? So remember, M is the first, M prime is the second. So there's 2 ways to do this. First way, we could just say, okay, let's drive our car. How do we drive from M to M prime? We're going to go this direction, and then we're going to turn, and we're going to go this direction. So we went, we went in a negative direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we went 5 left, and then we went 1, 2, 2 up. Okay, so left 5, up 2. And that's how we got that. Now, let me back up. This is not the way we are to write this. I apologize. We have to write it like this. What are we doing to the x? We're subtracting 5. And then what are we doing to the y? We're adding 2. So that's what needs to go in the blank. Sorry. It's a different style than the vector. So in this first blank, you would type in x minus 5, and in the second one, you're going to type in y plus 2. Okay? Now, the other way you could think of it is if we look at the coordinates. The coordinate of m is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1. So the coordinates of m prime are -1, and then up 1, 2, 3, 3, like that. So then it's the same kind of thing. What are we doing to the x to change it from 4 to -1? We're subtracting 5. What are we doing to the y to change it from a 1 to a +3? We're adding 2. It's the same thing. It's just a different way to look at it. Because you won't always have a graph to work with, so sometimes we'll need to do it like this. Okay, you guys did great. Let me give you a star. And how about if we do, let's see, let's grab another villain. How about a skeleton archer? I hate the skeleton archer. Actually, I love to take them on and kill them. But anyway, okay. So I want you to try number 10 using the same thing. And then if you have questions, you can ask me in our live session, or you can just message me and I'll try to answer your question that way as well. Okay, so let's look at number 11. So on this one, they're saying, okay, here's the rule you're supposed to use. and this is the pre-image. Remember, A is the pre-image. So they're saying, what is the image? In other words, what is A prime? Okay, so this is the rule we're using. So basically, it says take the 2 and subtract 8. So to get A prime, we're going to take this 2 right here, and we're going to subtract 8. So what is 2 minus 8? 2 minus 8 is negative 6. And then to get the second part of my image, we're going to take the y and add 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10. So you would put negative 6 and 10 in the blank. So if it helps you, you could also think of writing it out like this. You take 2 minus 8 and 6 plus 4. So that's going to give you negative 6 and positive 10. Same thing, we're just writing it out. So I want you to try 12 and 13 on your own. You can ask questions if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to do 14 with you, and then I want you to try 15 on your own. So on 14, they give us the triangle, PQR, and then you are to use this coordinate rule here to create the image. Okay, so we're taking these points, and if you're struggling a little with this, I will try to go a little slower, or you can rewind or slow the video down if you need to double check what I'm doing. So we're taking each of these points, these are the pre-image points, and we are going to graph the image, okay? So I go from P to P prime. So I'm going to do a little different this time. I'm going to write P down over here. And so we're going to change it to P prime, right? And this is the pattern. You do X plus 4 and Y plus 6. So I'm going to bring that over here. We're doing X plus 4 and Y plus 6. So we're going to take this right here, negative 2 plus 4. So that's going to give us what? Positive 2, right? Negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. And then we take the 3 plus 6, the y part plus 6. So 3 plus 6 is 9. All right, so next, Q. Q is at 1, 2. So if we're going to change that to Q prime. So add 4 and then add 6. So 1 plus 4 is 5, and 2 plus 6 is 8. And then R is at 3, negative 1. So that's going to change. So to R prime, so 3 plus 4 is 7. And then negative 1 plus 6. Negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. Okay, so now let's graph those. So if we graph the image is at negative 2, 1, 2, 3. So there's P. And then Q is at 1, 2. So there's our Q right there. And then R is at 1, 2, 3, negative 1. So there's R right there. Now remember, on big ideas, you have to click P a second time, and that tells it, okay, I'm done. Draw the triangle. All right, so then it should draw the triangle for you. And so that's the pre-image. Now the image is our P prime, Q prime, R prime. And so we go, I'm going to change to red so you can see. I know you can't do that on big ideas, but this will just kind of help out. So 2, we go 2 and then up 9. So that's P prime should be right up there. And then Q prime is at 5, 8. So there's Q prime. And then R prime is at 7, 5. So again, don't forget, click the P prime to tell it I'm done with the triangle. You can draw it now. Okay, so it should look something like that. Let me double check. I don't know if mine looks totally right. So that should be 2, 9, and then 5, 8, and then 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's correct. It's just I didn't draw my lines very good or something, but those points are correct. I am looking at the key, and those are the correct points. Okay. And then you should be able to check that. All right, great job. Let me give you a star. Awesome. You guys are doing such a great job. And let's see. Let me see if I can find another bad guy. What about an Enderman? Oh, no. All right. Just don't stare at him and you'll be okay. All right. Okay. Now on number 15, I want you to do that one. Try that one yourself. Okay. Now, as we come to these last problems, the rest of this, it's just kind of review, and it's kind of preparing for what we're doing in our next lesson. So on 16, we're saying, tell whether the figure can be folded in half. So they're asking, is it symmetric? Can you fold this in half? Well, clearly, if you were to fold, if you can find some way to fold it, like if we've creased it and folded it right there, yes, you could fold that over. So that's what you're looking for, is can you fold those over or not, okay? Same thing here. Would there be any way where you could like find some line of symmetry, line where you could fold that over, and it's basically yes or no, whether you can do that or not. So I'll let you work through those. Now then the last few problems are basically what happens when you change the sign. So like I'll let you do number 20, but like on 21, if you have a negative out in front of the parentheses, what happens to everything inside? Well, that becomes a negative x, and then the 3 becomes a negative 3. All right, so in your box, you would put negative x, negative 3, because the negative causes the signs to change. So that's what we're looking for. What is the negative going to do? Now on number 22 and 23, what we're looking for is this. So we have x, and then the negative will cause these signs to change. So that becomes a negative 12 and a positive 5x. So if you had a negative in here already, the negative of the negative makes it go plus. So now I simplify. X and 5x makes 6x minus 12. So that would be my final answer on that one, is 6x minus 12 right there like that. Okay? So I want you to do those other ones. And if you're struggling, just let me know and I'll give you a hand. Okay? All right. Here's your last star. Way to go, you guys. And what about if for our last Minecraft villain we do an Ender Dragon? And no, I don't know why the one that I found has a different colored head. Maybe if you know, you could let me know in the comments below. There are no comments below. You'll just have to let me know. Anyway, there is your Ender Dragon. Great job. I will chat with you guys later.